Welcome to a live webcast. This is a launch party for my new novel, To Kill the Other. I would like to thank everyone who came to my house today to celebrate with me the release of my book. And I have to say that I feel a little bit like when I was a child. And I know that most of you will share this experience with me, I feel like I have invisible friends on the other side of the camera. The camera is so small that I can barely see it, so if anyone is there, welcome everyone. We'll start with my dear friend Mike Clark, who will say a couple of words about the book. Mike Clark is the publisher of Little Patuxent Review and my dear friend.
Thank you very much. This book, as you probably know if you haven't read it, really touches on 9/11 and what really happened behind the 9/11 scenes as envisioned through her research and her insights. And I think the other thing about this book that's so important is there is a spiritual quality to this book. To kill the other is always the person outside of ourselves who we judge, and usually not too well. In this case, the young man who is on the plane and leading this suicide effort to crash the plane into one of the buildings, the Twin Towers, comes to the conclusion at the end that we're all one. It's a flash of insight that's too late for any meaning to it because of the death of so many innocent people. So I think it's really a noteworthy book. Just a little bit on Danuta. Danuta came to this country in 1991 from Gdansk, Poland. She studied over there classical languages, and I think she brings to her writing a real depth that I think you'll pick up once you read it. I heartily recommend this book, and I'm going to also pass on some comments from Danuta to explain to us why she decided to write this book. You want to tell a little bit about that?
Yes, I think that the moment when I decided to write the book was about 5 days after 9/11, and I was, I guess, horrified by what was happening on the screen as everyone else. In the beginning, of course, we all thought that it was an accident. And when the second plane hit, we realized immediately that it wasn't an accident, it was an attack. I think that the first feeling that was associated with what I was watching was hate. I hated those young people with all my heart, and then I hated myself for hating them. And then I hated them for making me hate them, right? And the vicious cycle couldn't stop. And I realized that I wanted to ask the question, who are these people and why would anyone do something like that? I wanted to get to know them, and I realized that I don't know anything about those people. So I decided that sort of the idea of researching the people who did it came fast, 5 days after 9/11. And I guess the basic question was, well, why? And I wanted to find out. It took me many years to write the book. First I wrote it in Polish. It took me 3.5 years. And then it took me another 2.5 years to translate it into English. So there are many years of my life in this book. And I hope that I will never have to write a book that was as difficult as this one. I guess that was, I'm not sure if this answers your question.
It does. I wanted to ask you also a question about spirituality. I find you a very spiritual person. What kind of a spirituality aspect did you find in going into such a grisly situation? Obviously, that sort of is sort of an underlying premise in this book, that we're not really others, but we are one. But do you want to talk just a little bit about the spiritual aspects?
The spiritual aspect, yes, when we study all the religions, we realize that the essence of who we are as humans is the same for all of us, no matter if we are Christians or Jewish or Muslims or Buddhists. The essence is the same. We are all human beings. We have the same needs. We have the same things that we are that you want in our lives, right? We want respect. We want love. We want to be productive. We want to contribute, and I think that this is what we all really share. I think that what I realized is that, and this is also through my teaching. I teach at Howard Community College, the most beautiful place on earth for teaching, and because the population of my students is so diverse, I had this honor and this opportunity to meet people from all over the world, and I realized that we all really connect with each other if we want to. I wanted to know what are the things that make us connect, and what are the things that make us disregard each other, reject each other, and why do we perceive sometimes other people as different. And I came to a conclusion that if we are simply not willing to learn about others, if we reject the notion of traveling, for example, or just learning, then we are not really able to connect. We need to get to know each other. I think this is the basic premise.